The story begins with Frida scrolling through her phone, stumbling upon unsettling news and video interviews featuring the disgraced billionaire Slater King. Once celebrated, Slater's reputation has been tarnished by allegations of misconduct. Despite the scandal, he appeals to the public for forgiveness, hoping to regain his former glory. Frida and her closest friend Jess work as cocktail waitresses at an extravagant gala hosted by Slater's company. During the event, Jess sneaks in elegant dresses for them to blend in as guests. As Frida struts through the crowd, her heel snaps, sending her tumbling into a waiter. Slater himself steps in, helping her regain balance and breaking off her other heel to even the playing field. His charm captures Frida's attention, and he introduces her to his circle of wealthy associates. By the end of the night, Slater extends an exclusive invitation for Frida and Jess to join him at his private island. The women are flown to the remote island, where they meet Slater's eclectic group of friends: Rich, a therapist; Vic, a photographer; Cody, a private chef; Tom, a DJ; Lucas, a fresh college graduate; Sarah, a reality TV star and Cody's complicated companion; and the carefree Camilla and Heather. Overseeing the arrangements is Slater's enigmatic assistant, Stacy, who confiscates everyone's phones upon their arrival. In her assigned room, Frida discovers an ornate bottle of perfume. When she spritzes it on herself, a strange sensation overtakes her. Shortly after, a maid enters, muttering the cryptic phrase, "Red Rabbit," before vanishing as mysteriously as she appeared. The next day, while most guests enjoy the luxury of the island's pool, Slater offers Frida a private tour. He casually mentions the venomous snakes that his staff tirelessly hunts. Their conversation shifts to Frida's business creating animal-themed nail art. On their stroll, they pass Stacy, who clutches several ominous red gift bags. That evening, the group gathers for an opulent dinner, where they consume MDMA droplets under Slater's guidance. Frida awakens the next morning in her bed beside Jess, only to discover that a red stain on her dress has inexplicably disappeared. As days pass, Frida notices subtle yet chilling inconsistencies. She begins experiencing fragmented memories of actions she cannot recall, like dirt inexplicably caked beneath her fingernails. When she attempts to return Slater's vape pen, he introduces her to Rich as though they've never met, despite their interaction at the gala. Meanwhile, Jess grows increasingly wary of their surroundings, especially after spotting the maid handling one of the island's serpents. One night, the group's revelry is interrupted by Jess's scream as a snake bites her hand. Slater swiftly dispatches the creature and ensures Jess's injury is treated. Later, Jess confides in Frida, voicing her unease and suspicion about the island. Before retiring for the night, Jess begins to suffer a severe nosebleed. The next day, Frida searches for Slater and encounters the maid once more. The woman offers her a drink laced with snake venom. Against her better judgment, Frida sips it, gagging on the bitter taste. As the hours pass, she observes unnerving details. Sarah sporting a mysterious bruise, Jess's inexplicable absence, and the eerie way Camilla and Heather seem to have no recollection of Jess, even as they use the lighter she had shared with them. Frida retreats to her room in a rising panic. Behind the mirror, she discovers a hidden knife. A disjointed memory flashes before her. A whisper from Jess urging her to conceal the weapon. Frida clutches the blade as the island's sinister grip tightens, the line between reality and illusion unraveling around her. Frida, now deeply suspicious, confides in Sarah, who has also started to sense that something is gravely wrong. Together, they investigate the mysterious room with the red gift bags that Frida discovered earlier. While there, Frida finds more of the snake venom liquor and convinces Sarah to drink it. The venom triggers hazy but vivid memories for Sarah, confirming their shared fears. They piece together that the perfume given to the women is designed to make them forget, while the snake venom appears to counteract its effects. Determined to reveal the truth, they mix the venom with tequila and trick Camilla and Heather into drinking it. Stacy, unknowingly joining the group, drinks some as well. As the group gets increasingly intoxicated, Frida seizes the moment to sneak into Slater's office to search for their confiscated phones. Meanwhile, Sarah stays behind to act as a lookout. Frida hides when Slater arrives with Stacy and his intimidating bodyguard Stan. While rummaging through Slater's belongings, Frida discovers photographs from a previous trip to the island. Suddenly, her nose begins to bleed, triggering a flood of memories. She recalls herself and the other women tied up and terrified. Jess, who had regained her full memory, was killed by Stan when she tried to resist. Frida narrowly escapes the office and shares the horrifying revelations with Sarah. At dinner, Frida's memories resurface fully. She realizes the men have been drugging and assaulting the women, using the perfume to erase their memories afterward. Rich's earlier discomfort was due to Frida recognizing him as one of her attackers. Frida and Sarah quietly orchestrate a plan, encouraging everyone to dance to cover their next move. Soon, Camilla and Heather's memories return, and chaos erupts. In a rage, Camilla stabs Tom in the neck, killing him, while Heather violently attacks Vic with a chessboard. Stan intervenes, shooting Heather in the head before turning his sights on Frida. Before he can execute her, Sarah bludgeons him to death with a rock. The men retreat to Slater's villa, taking Camilla hostage. Inside, Slater coldly steps on her neck until she stops breathing. Frida, now hunted, encounters Stacy, who is enraged at remembering the men's atrocities and her own complicity. Stacy attacks Frida, but Frida manages to stab her in the heart. Meanwhile, Sarah corners Cody in the woods and kills him. Lucas, the youngest and least culpable of the group, begins to recall witnessing the men's crimes but doing nothing to stop them. When Frida and Sarah confront Slater at the villa, Lucas tries to mediate, only to be shot in the head by one of Slater's men. Frida makes her way into the villa for a final confrontation with Slater. During their struggle, more memories flood back. She was on the island the previous year, escaped, but was made to forget. The scar on her head came from Slater letting her fall onto a rock, and she remembers biting off Vic's pinky in a desperate fight. Slater, enraged and ranting, hits his vape pen one last time, unaware that Frida has laced it with the flower toxin. As he becomes disoriented and confused, Slater begins to panic, realizing the carnage around him. In his hysteria, he knocks over candles, setting the villa ablaze. Frida drags Slater out of the inferno, leaving Vic to perish inside. Outside, Frida appears to be speaking to Sarah. But when the camera pans out, she is alone with an unconscious Slater, watching the villa burn to the ground. Sometime later, Frida attends a gala event alongside Slater, who is kept docile and compliant with the flower toxin hidden in his vape pen. Rich, visibly nervous, recognizes her, and realizes she remembers everything. The host of the event introduces Frida as both Slater's wife and the new CEO of his company. If you were in Frida's shoes, would you have gone to the gala as Slater's wife to take control? Or would you have exposed everything publicly? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more twists and thrills. See you next time.